Did you know that around 80% of people say that they want to write a book, but only a small fraction of people actually start? If you've ever thought about sharing your stories or advice, you're definitely not alone. But here's the thing, it's easier to get that book out of your head and down onto paper and in other people's hands that you might think, if that's what you want to do with the book. Let's break it down right here, right now. My name is Karen. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome. I'd love for you to say hello in the comments below. That just rhymed. On this channel, we love ourselves between the ups and downs and through the decades. Last week, I posted a video about why you should be writing a book. And if you haven't watched that, you don't need to go and watch it right away. It's definitely more information that's going to fuel your fire, I'm sure. But I'll make sure that that is linked below so that you can go and watch it if you haven't seen it. If you did watch last week's video and you're like chomping at the bit to get started, make sure that you stay tuned because think of this as kind of like your weekly assignment to get started. I'm going to be sure to bring you a call to action each week with this series that's going to help get you in the right direction to at least get that framework going of your creative nonfiction book. A common mistake people think is that like they can't write a book. It's just too big. They're maybe not a real writer, or it's difficult to put sentence structure together. What am I going to write about? Where am I going to publish? Who's going to edit? I'm going to stop you right there because all of those things can cause heart palpitations before you even write one word. Am I right? Everything doesn't need to make sense right away. What I learned about the process of making it smaller is that the approach, focusing on the framework that allows you just to go through the process of sharing what these nuggets of wisdom you have, instead of being caught up in perfection. Step by step, writing a book is going to be easier than you think. Without a clear plan, it's really easy to stay stuck in someday I'll write that book. Am I right? It's just like a fitness program or like a walking program. Oh, I'll go for a walk one day when I have more time. We tell ourselves we're going to do these things when we have more time, but really the only way we're going to have more time is if we put it in our schedule. Am I right? So that book that you hope to write, that dream of, publishing something, or maybe not even publishing. What if you took the focus off publishing? Unless publishing is your dream, and unless publishing is the thing that makes you motivated, then I want that to stay there. But if that terrifies you, take that off your list. If you have a YouTube channel like I do here, it allows you to connect with the people that are watching you on YouTube in like real life, something that they can turn their screen off and walk to their coffee table or their favorite armchair and pick up that book and really, really, really get into it. You know, that is a gift that we cannot get from writing a blog, from writing an email, from creating another YouTube video. You can only get that from something that you can hold in your hand in a book. Sure, you can put it on an e-reader on another computer. I'm challenging you to get it off the screen and into somebody's hands. Think about that person that at the grocery store that you always, give advice to, or because they're always asking you the next question about the next step. Or think about that favorite cousin you have, or niece or nephew that one day they're going to be ready to receive this information. Today they might not be. But think about that person. They find your book 20 years from now and they're like, this is exactly what I needed. And bonus, they get to connect with you on a completely different level. It's really, truly creating that legacy. Now, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. I mean, we need to really get excited for like the long haul. I don't want to sugarcoat this. Writing a book, you do need to have the dedication and the wherewithal, but the magic, magic, magic is in the framework. When you approach it like with a clear roadmap, it becomes exciting because you don't have to wonder like, what do I do next? there's less hesitation. The first thing is to identify your topic and audience. I know. Everybody says this, and it's like, oh, do I have to do this? And I'm telling you, it will make it easier. And if this is something that you struggle with, I will be publishing a video next week, or if it's already next week when you're watching this, you're gonna find it below as 5 easy ways to identify your topic. But you can sit down with this week and really think about it, what you want to say and who you're saying it to. So think about the stories that you have to pick from. Think about the main message that you would want to talk about. So for example, if you knew, I know this is always the worst way to say it, right? If you knew that you only had like maybe a week left, if you turn to someone, think about the first person that came to your mind that is in, say, the next generation or a good friend, or, think about the person that is ready to receive the information that you have to give. It it could be someone that you just met, it could be someone that's close to you, and think about the person that is maybe not quite ready to receive the information, but you know that they will be helped in the future. And what is that information that you really want to give them? What is calling on your heart? Now, this is where you get to really explore, and you're going to have some ideas. And I encourage you to, put a timer on for 10 minutes and think about all the things that you would want to say, like all the topics that you would want to teach. And nothing is getting thrown away in this process. It's just a process of elimination, right? Of what you feel ready to put together faster than shorter. We want to go for the lower hanging fruit. Now, your audience, I feel like it doesn't have to be like a lot of people say, who's your avatar? I think a lot of times we get hung up in the fact that we're looking for a certain demographic, a certain age class. And just think about one person, just one person that fits, and that's the audience. So you can think of an audience as a demographic, or you can think of it as a person. I find that it becomes a lot easier if you just take it down to one. Now that person can change, and this is something that a lot of people don't talk about, is that person can change, okay? So you're not like locked in. This is just like the first brainstorm. All of this brainstorming is also going to help you in future pieces of the book that you're about to put together. So let's talk about writing techniques to keep you moving forward. I'm a huge fan of the free write, the no absolute judgment free writing. And what I did, and I believe that this was the success marker, is when I wrote my book, throughout the entire rough draft, I did not look back. I didn't read anything that I wrote. I knew exactly with my framework what I was going to write that day and how it fit, and I just let it rip. And I feel like if I would have looked at any of those words, I would have been trying to edit them. I would have been trying to, correct my spelling, correct my typos. And so I did not allow myself to look up. Like, it helps that I'm not like a typist, right? So it takes me a longer time on the keyboard, and I am like actually looking at the keyboard. The less time you spend editing in the rough draft, the faster you're going to get the whole thing written. Save the editing for after the whole book is written. And this is probably the biggest gold, the biggest takeaway you are going to take from this video into actually getting your project done is you don't edit as you go. Okay? Is that a deal? You promise? All right. Okay. Let me know in the comments below if you feel like you can take that challenge. The biggest part of the framework is not stepping to the next step until you've done the first step. So it's not like looking over your shoulder to see what other people are doing. It's not looking ahead to seeing where am I going to put this? What am I going to do? All those things are fine and dandy and wonderful, but they do not belong in your writing window. The assignment from this video is to set a timer for 20 minutes for 5 days this week. And in that 20 minutes, you're going to be identifying your topic, which means you're just going to free write a bunch of different topics that are coming out. I would actually, it would be really cool. Like if you actually have a YouTube channel, it's very similar to like figuring out, what your titles are going to be. You can't sidestep this work because things are going to punch out at you. We're not talking about SEO or anything like that, like just topics. Okay. And then the next thing is write down a list of names of people that are in your ideal audience. So they could be people that you've met virtually. They could be people in your real life. It doesn't matter. This is just for you. So the takeaways from this video is you're going to identify your topic and your audience, and you're going to start to build your writing technique habit, which is touching every day. Now, it doesn't have to be first thing in the morning. I did just release a podcast not too long ago. I'll link it below about how I fit this into my morning routine. But you can have a set time every day. Just don't not do it because that's the first way to not getting your book written, right? That's not making time, which are the habits that are not getting the book written. I know, I've been there. I've been there. I remember thinking over and over, like, who am I to write? But once I got that framework in place and I started writing, I saw how simple it could be. Not easy, but simple. I realized how valuable my insights were. And I was able to pull in work that I've done in previous years, but I didn't know where it fit or how it fit until I actually went through this process. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start with a plan. That's it. Start by writing a little bit every day. And by writing, all you're doing is you're writing the topic and who it's for. That's it. And just create the window. Okay. Create the window. So if you have only 10 minutes a day, you're doing it 10 minutes a day. Put it in a spot where you can come back to it every single day at the same time is usually the best to keep it, consistent. Consistency is key. Consistency over big lump sums. I mean, you're going to be going through the calendar every day anyways. You might as well be writing your book 10 minutes a day. Everybody's got 10 minutes a day. You have the expertise and you have the stories. So now it's time to share them, right? Tell me in the comments, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to writing? We also have more videos in this series coming up, so make sure that you're subscribed and we'll dig even deeper into creating really impactful creative nonfiction books. And I'll see you in the next video.